Hello students, today we will be covering the topic mathematical formulation of second law of motion. Okay, in this topic what we will be studying is we will be studying about change in momentum. Okay, change in momentum, and second thing we will be studying about rate of change in momentum. Okay, now you see here the change in momentum has been given p2 minus p1. All right, you see what is change in velocity, that is v2 minus v1, but we have the for velocity we are writing u and v, right? We are not having we are not using 1 and 2 because we are having a symbol for initial and final velocity. But for momentum, for initial momentum and final momentum, we don't have any new symbol, right? So we just put p2 minus p1 if anything is changed. Okay, if anything is changed, then how we will take out what has been changed? That will be we will be taking out by subtracting the two, right? Initial minus final, okay, or final minus initial. Okay, for any change we will be doing final minus initial. Here also, if the momentum is changed, what will be writing? p2 minus p1, that is final momentum minus initial momentum. Okay, now what is momentum? We have studied yesterday that momentum is the product of mass and velocity. Okay, see here, this is final velocity, this is initial velocity. For any object, do you think the mass of that object will change? No. Okay, the momentum of that object will change only if the velocity is changed, because for one object the mass is always constant. Okay, you see here p2 minus p1 equals to mv minus mu. Now m is common, then what we have done? V minus u. Okay, that means change in momentum is directly proportional to mass into velocity, initial velocity minus final velocity minus initial velocity. Now coming to rate of change in momentum. For anything, if we apply rate of change, that means we are introducing time factor in that. Okay, now what is, if I ask you what is a change in momentum, you will be writing this. If I ask you what is a rate of change in momentum, you will straight away put t at the bottom. Okay, that means with respect to time. Okay, change in momentum with respect to time. Okay, now, or you see the applied force. All right, now what is the rate of change in momentum? From the second law of motion, okay, we found that the rate of change in momentum is itself a force, isn't it? The rate of change in momentum is force itself. That is why we are studying this in the second law of motion. Okay, and here you see in place of rate of change of momentum we have written force. Okay, force is directly proportional to m into v minus u divided by t. Okay, now this is proportionality sign. Okay, if we are changing the proportional sign to equal to, then always we have to put a constant. Okay, because proportional means it is not like equal. Okay, it means if this factor is increasing, this factor will also increase, but equal means they both are equal. Okay, so to make these two factor equal, this is increasing, then this is increasing, but are they equal? Okay, to make sure that this value and this value is equal, we have to put a constant, that is k. Okay, so now what we took out, force equals to kma, where k, okay, force equals to kma, where k is a constant. Okay, and for a force of for a body of mass, okay, 1 kg, and the acceleration of 1 meter per second square, force is always 1 newton. Okay, did you get that? You see, if the now how will we take out the basic formula of force? Okay, force equals to m into a. M is mass, a means acceleration. Okay, now you see how m into a, because v minus u by t is acceleration, that we have studied in the previous chapter only, isn't it? Mass into initial velocity, mass into final velocity minus initial velocity divided by t. right? We took out this. Now these can be replaced by A, isn't it? So what we finally we did is force equals to ma. Okay, and how will we define the force? A force of 1 Newton is applied, okay, when a body has a mass of 1 kg and the acceleration of 1 meter per second square. Okay, in this case, that means if force is 1, okay, if right hand side, if this is 1, that means kma is also equal to 1. If the force is 1, that means constant into mass into acceleration is also 1. Okay, therefore constant is also 1 when the force is 1 Newton. Okay, now coming to the next part, you see out here, okay, we will be studying about the application of the second law of motion. Okay, you see whenever the cricketer, they are catching the ball, okay, then what are they doing? They are just swiftly taking their hand back, isn't it? Whenever a ball is catched, they, what they do, they take the hand back and then only they will stop. You directly catch the ball? No. Okay, if you directly catch the ball, then you might hurt your hand. Why is that so? Because we are increasing the momentum. Okay, what we are doing is we are just no, we are not increasing the momentum, we are increasing the rate of the change in momentum. Okay, see, okay, you see here, thus the acceleration of ball is decreased and therefore the impact of catching the, you just underline this part, the acceleration of ball is decreased and therefore the impact of catching the ball, catching the fast moving ball also reduced. If the ball is stopped suddenly, then its high velocity decreases to 0 in a very short interval of time, thus the rate of change in momentum of the ball will be large. Okay, we have, what we have to make sure is that rate of momentum of the ball is small. Okay, for what is momentum, rate of change in momentum, that is ma, isn't it? Or it is m into v minus u divided by t, isn't it? Now see, if the time is more, okay, if the time is more, then the upper value will be what? Upper value will be less, right? And if the time is less, the upper value will be more. Okay, so what we are doing when we are catching the ball, okay, we are increasing the time. Okay, we are increasing the time so that the upper value, that is the force, become less. Okay, when we catch the ball at once, then what happens? We are decreasing the time gap, so the upper force will be more. Okay, as compared to time, okay, if we take more time, then the force will be less. If we take less time to catch the ball, okay, then the force will be more. So it is in your hand that you want more force in your hand and hurt your hand, or you want less force in your hand and save your hand. Okay, now you see karate player, okay, what they do to break the ice slab? They take their hand very far, right? They take their hand very far and then they come closer and then hit the ice slab, isn't it? Because at that point of time, what they are doing, they are increasing the time, isn't it? They are increasing the time by doing that. Now another thing is, you see, okay, the same thing. Okay, you all, yes, the athlete and all, okay, when they are doing high jump or long jump, what they do is they tend, there is a cushion bed, all right, or a sand. We don't jump on the floor. Why is that? Because if there is cushion bed or a sand, then what happens is, when the athlete, they jump and they fall, okay, then it will take some time for that athlete, okay, to finally settle in the place. Okay, that means what they are doing, they are decreasing the momentum. Okay, when the momentum is decreased, sorry, not momentum, rate of change in momentum. Okay, when the rate of change in momentum is less, that means the force is less and you are hurt less. When the rate of change in momentum is more, okay, that means the force is more and you will be hurting more. So what we do, we increase the time gap, because time is at the bottom, right? So if the time is more, the value will be less. If the time is less, the value will be more. Okay.